So our essential question today is, how can I use what I know about the distributive property in combining like terms, which you just practiced, to solve equations? So we're on the paper that says notes solving equations. That one, the cute little owl. Nice fall themed. So, you guys learned how to solve two-step equations last year, and you now know how to simplify expressions. So, the only thing different that we're going to do from last year to this year is simplify an expression before we solve the equation. So when we see something that has these parentheses here, we need to simplify the left-hand side of this equation so there are no more parentheses, and then we can solve it. So negative 5 on the outside, we distribute it to every number on the inside. Negative 5 times x is negative 5x. Negative 5 times positive 3 is negative 15. So, when I simplify that, I have negative 5x minus 15 equals 10. When we solve two-step equations, our goal is always to get x by itself. We do that by doing the order of operations backwards, undoing things with inverse operations. So my first step is to add 15 to both sides. And I have negative 5x, negative 15 plus 15 is 0, equals 10 plus 15, which is 25. Negative 5 times x, to undo that we need to divide by negative 5 on both sides. Negative 5 divided by negative 5 is 1, so we have a 1x. 25 divided by negative 5 is negative 5. So my answer is x equals negative 5. If I want to check my work, which we always should, negative 5 times negative 5 plus 3, and that is hopefully equal to 10. Parentheses first, negative 5 plus 3 is negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 5 is positive 10. Okay? You guys do these two bottom ones. You can have 2 minutes and 30 seconds to do them. Volunteer to tell me what you got for number 1.
Negative 1.
Good, Wilson.
Negative 1.
X equals negative 1.
So far.
Someone raise your hand and tell me what you got for number 2. Naveen. X equals 4. Is there anyone who has any questions on these two problems? All right, on the second one, negative 2 times negative x is negative 2x. Negative 2 times negative 10 is positive 20. So your first step, check that if you got it wrong. You should have negative 2x plus 20 equals 12. If you don't have that written down, then you did the distributive property wrong. If the distributive property is right, then your next step would be to subtract 20 on both sides. Simplify, you get negative 2x minus 8. To get rid of that negative 2, since it's being multiplied, we undo that with division. Divide both sides by negative 2, and negative 8 divided by negative 2 is positive 4. And then you can see where I checked my work over here. Plug in 4. 4 minus 10 is negative 6. Negative 6 times negative 2 is positive 12. Okay. Part 2, combining like terms. If in an equation you have multiple x's on one side, before you do anything, you have to simplify that by getting all of the x's together and combining your like terms. So, we have a 3x and negative 7x. 3x plus negative 7x is negative 4x. I'm going to rewrite the plus 2 and rewrite the equals 30. So my first step was to combine my like terms. Then this is just a two-step equation, which you learned how to solve last year. Subtract 2 from both sides. Negative 4x equals 30 minus 2, which is 28. Then divide both sides by negative 4, and x equals negative 7. If you're going to check your work, you're taking this negative 7 and plugging it into every x when you see it. 3 times negative 7 plus 2 minus 7 times negative 7, and we should get 30. 3 times negative 7 is negative 21, plus 2, negative 7 times negative 7 is plus 49. Negative 21 plus 2 is negative 19, plus 49, which is 30. Okay? You guys do this example 3. If you finish this example 3, there are 2 more in the back that you can do. No. Example 3 will not be a whole number.
Oh,
I don't know. I only know the fraction. Oh, look.
I can't figure out what to fraction. Look at another thing. What else has that? Negative 1. That's a minus. Yeah. You got the negative. You have nothing. Go right hard.
All right, can someone raise your hand and tell me what example 3 is as a fraction? What did you get, Armand?
I got X equals 1.
No, as a fraction.
And 2 9.
As an improper fraction. 11 over negative 9, or negative 11 ninths. So when you're doing this, your last step is dividing by negative 9. This is your fraction. Don't put that in the calculator. Leave it as a fraction, negative 11 ninths. If the negative's in the bottom, that's the same as it being off to the side or in the top. But it's either in the numerator, in the denominator, or off to the side, not both. If it was negative 11 over negative 9, then that would turn into positive 11 ninths. Okay, can someone raise your hand and tell me what you got for the first you try on the back? Go ahead. Negative 5. All right, Peter, what did you get for the second you try on the back? You didn't do it. Can someone tell me what you got for the second you try on the back? The second you try on the back, that second problem. Go ahead, Max. 0. All right. Are there any questions on any of those 3 that we just did? Okay. Down at the bottom, just like in our expressions, when we have something with parentheses and like terms, we need to distribute first and then combine our like terms. So, example 4, this is a positive 2 that we need to distribute first. 5 plus 2x, positive 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. So after I distributed this 2, I got 2x minus 4. Can't forget about that 5. The 2x is positive, so we're adding that 5. 5 plus 2x minus 4. Then we combine our like terms. Positive 5 and negative 4 make 1 plus 2x equals 19. When we combine like terms, we are only combining it on one side of the equation. You can't combine the 5 and the negative 4 and the 19 because this 19 is on the other side of the equation. Subtract 1 from both sides, 2x equals 18, and divide both sides by 2. X equals 9. Okay, you guys can try example 5 and these 2 you tries. Something that you need to watch out for, this is a negative 1 that is being distributed. There's nothing between this minus sign and these parentheses, so 1 is like an invisible number. This negative 1 gets distributed. So try those last 3. You might not have time to finish all of them before we go over them because I want to get you started on your classwork. Alright, volunteer to share your answer for example number 5. Alright, James.
Example number 5 equals 34. 34 equals K.
Okay, 34K. Or 34 equals K. And volunteer for this one, Tiziano. T equals 7. And volunteer for this last one. Anyone get there? All of a sudden? Good. A equals 3 for the last one.
Wait, no, I got it.
Sorry.